Hey, welcome back, guys. In this video, we'll simplify expressions. We'll use algebra tiles. Sometimes we say combining like terms. Let's refresh our memory. So the top left square represents a positive x squared, and then the green rectangle will represent a positive variable. I use x as my variable. This would be a negative x or a negative variable. And then the squares are a positive unit and a negative unit. So the larger squares, you see those in algebra. We're just combining like terms. I didn't include any of them in this video. So there's two examples we're going to knock out. So we have 2x plus 1 minus 3x minus 10 minus x. So I'm going to use shapes. So I'm going to use circle and boxes. So for positive 2x, I'm going to put a circle around it. You don't have to. It's not a teaching method, but it will help speed up the video when I go about it this way. And then I have a positive unit, so I can't put a circle. So I'll put a box around it. And if you notice, I included the operator. The next one is negative 3x. So what that means is that one's going to need a circle because it's the same as 2x. It has the same variable, and then there is no exponents. Exponents have to match too. So a negative 10, that would be a box around negative, And then for negative x, that's going to be a circle. So let's knock out all the circles, and it'll be easier to simplify that way. The circles are my variables. So for a positive 2x, I'm going to draw a rectangle. And I'm not going to shade it in. I'm just going to leave it like that. It represents positive 2x. Then my negative 3x, well, I'll still draw rectangles. However, I'm going to shade those in. When you take a test on paper, and typically this is how it's shaded or unshaded. I haven't never seen a math test on colored paper, but I guess it could be not colored print. It would waste too much money. So now I have the negative x over here, so that's another rectangle. And that also gets shaded in. Now I'm going to do the units. So a positive unit would be 1. I say open square because it's not shaded. Negative 10, well, that would be 10 squares, and they have to be shaded because the shaded is going to represent negative. You know that because I'm telling you that. And when you take a test, there's always a key, and it'll tell you. The shaded means negative. So let's double check what I did. 2x, negative 3x, negative 10 over there, negative x. Okay, I got everything. Now I'm going to take out 0 pairs. And so my 0 pairs are 1 positive and 1 negative. So I got 1 positive x, 1 negative x, 1 positive, 1 negative. There are no more 0 pairs with the x's, and you cannot do 0 pairs if they're not like terms. Now we go to our units. 1 positive, 1 negative. So I'm done. There's no more terms that I need to simplify, no more 0 pairs, none of that. So my simplified expression is negative 2x minus 9. You have to include the minus 9. Now you can also write negative 2x plus negative 9. Either one works. Let's go to the next example. So this one is x, so that'll be a positive x, and I'll leave it open like that, not shaded. I'm going to do 3 x's here. For the positive 2, 2 small squares, negative x. I'm going to have to shade that one in to represent that it's negative. 3 positive units, followed by 8 negative units. Shade in the negatives. Next step is 0 pairs. Now remember, rectangles go with rectangles, which are really variables, and squares go with squares, which are really your units. So 1 positive x, 1 negative x. There are no more 0 pairs. So at this point, I have 3x. Now I'm going to take out 0 pairs from my units. 1 positive, 1 negative. 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 So I'm left with those 3 negatives. So I can go plus -3, or they're the same. They're equivalent. I could go about it that way. All right. Well, I hope this helped. Thanks for watching.